Thank you for joining us for Tuesday Tea Time. And this time it is with Dorarena and
Kristin.
Yay! So most of you know, or if you haven't known, Kristin is a part of the board and she is a vital asset to Women of Wisdom. So Women of Wisdom is a nonprofit organization here to bridge the generational gap between the younger and the older generation so that we can pass on and share vital knowledge with one another and to empower with practical wisdom and confidence. Because you know what? We are going to change future generations. All right. So that's who we are.
That's right.
And as I normally do, I introduce the tea that I'm doing. So we're going to introduce our tea to you and show you our teacups that we're using tonight. So we hope that you have your cup, whatever beverage you decide to drink tonight, and fill your cup up with lots of wisdom. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight I'm doing the same tea that I did last week. And that's let me turn it right. Ginger, moringa, turmeric. Okay. And
you gonna show your teacup?
Oh, well, I'm going to show my teacup when you show your teacup.
Okay. Then I am drinking some vitamin C shine tonight.
Yay. Okay, so here's our cups that we're using tonight, our butterfly cups, and it's tea time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, we need our honey.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I found out that she's a honey girl just like me.
I am. No shame.
And at first I was like, I am not letting her see how much honey I put in my cup. And then I saw how much honey she put in her cup. And I was like, oh, twins. Yay. So here we go.
Okay, now we can cheers.
Ooh, tea time.
That is good.
Yeah, that's good, but I gotta stir mine up a little bit more. That honey needs to circulate a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so you know what? We're gonna get right into our topic tonight because with the discussion that we're having, we're just going to go a little bit longer than we normally do. We try to go about 15 minutes, but we're going to go a little longer tonight so that you can get all the wisdom you can gather. Yay. All right. Okay. So our wisdom topic tonight is, how do you relate in relationships? Think about that. Okay, so we can really help you learn how to relate, a better way to relate. And you know what? We can all improve in the words that we choose. Yes, in our conversations, because, sometimes even when a conversation gets heated, we still need to know how to communicate respectfully. Okay, so we ain't open up a can of worms. Okay, so how do people better each other? So, me and Kristin was talking about this, and we thought, wow, life is so much better when we learn how to better each other.
Yep, I agree. Ways to encourage people and bring out the best in the other one. That's what we need. So that's what we need around us.
Yes. And I was listening to an expert today, and he was talking about, he was talking about how, we need to point out the positive more than we point out the negative. We always think, well, if we're going to help somebody, well, what's the problem? What's your problem? When we should be saying, okay, what are you doing right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
what can I encourage you with? What can I say you're doing well? Where can I boost you a little bit?
Right. Yeah. And I just think that sometimes we can get stuck, you know, in our old ways of doing things, and some of the methods that the earlier people use. Come on, you know,
before wisdom.
Yeah, before wisdom, right. You can tell that they have not worked very well, because there would be a whole lot of people relating a lot better than what they're doing now.
I agree.
So let's look at our first slide and discuss that. You want to read that for us?
Expressing oneself clearly and honestly while being open to feedback. Appreciating each other's opinions and unique qualities. Encouraging positive reinforcement.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we were just talking about. And, you know, now I'm thinking, what is the attitude, you know, of those that would be watching? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
When you read something like this, you know, right away, some people think positive reinforcement. How easy is that?
Carrot and stick, you know. Yeah.
That right there just revealed your negativity. So all you have to do is switch that around and start looking for the positive. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. I think that if we can make a to-do list for someone, or notice the things that they're doing that, even if it's different than how you would normally do it, which I think is where a lot of us get stuck.
Yeah.
If they're doing it differently or in their unique way, and it's a positive thing that they're how they're interacting, what they're doing, the tone, the mood, I think all of that should be recognized.
Yeah. I like what you said about the to-do list.
To-do list.
We all should have a to-do list.
Yes, we should. And we should help others put to-dos on their to-do list.
Yeah. I was thinking about, you know, my husband, he has just really been on my to-do list lately.
Aww.
And, you know, one thing that he does not like mopping floors. And so today, you know, he mopped the floor for me.
Aww.
And I was like, oh, you really love me. He said, you just not finding that out? I said, yeah, you mopped the floor.
Doesn't that make you feel good?
Yeah.
I bet he appreciated that.
Yeah, and I told him, oh, you're such a good husband.
Aww.
Such a good husband.
I think I also want to touch on the appreciating each other's opinions and unique qualities. I want to just reach on that a little bit more, because I think that we need to celebrate our differences, because it is when we come together with people, they might have one strength and we might have another, and it is our strengths together that can make us stronger together.
Yes.
And I think that's a really important aspect of a relationship.
I totally agree. And what that brought to my mind was that we need to learn how not to compete.
That's true.
With one another in relationships. And if we would appreciate the uniqueness of each person's qualities, you have been gifted or you know, born with certain qualities. And those things, when you, oh my goodness, when people bring out the good in you and you bring out the good in them, now we're talking about knowing how to relate in a relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's not hard. You just have to change the way you think.
That's true.
Yeah, that's where it all starts, in your thinking. Stinking thinking.
That's cute. I like that.
Yeah. So we have a quote tonight, And I'm going to let Kristin share this quote with us because she was the one that found it. So, yay!
We can improve our relationships with others by leaps and bounds if we become encouragers instead of critics. Joyce Myers.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
That's the to-do list thing.
That is. And shame to say, but I'm being transparent to help you out. But it used to be at a time where I didn't have anything good to say about my husband because I was so mad at him. We learning each other, and because of our differences in our backgrounds, we're expecting certain things to happen that wasn't even a reality. And a lot of times, because we were communicating and assuming what the other person was thinking, we got into a lot of what we call heated fellowship. So so I can't think of the right word that we use, but that's basically what it is. And I used to say, "Oh, he's such an idiot." I know, isn't that? Yeah. And I didn't even realize by me saying that I was hurting myself.
That's true too.
I was hurting myself.
Yeah, because that's not the character that you are.
Right. And that's not who he is. Yeah. And so I had to quickly change that and take ownership of my own behavior and my words and the actions and change that. And I found out that when I started sowing good seeds, I started reaping good seeds.
Yes.
Good results.
Positive reinforcement.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. All right. Okay, let's go to our next slide. Own ourselves, which is what we was just kind of touching on. Own ourselves and own our actions. The impact of our decisions and behaviors, both positive and negative, and accept their consequences without minimizing or justifying them. Because we do that a lot. We justify our behavior because we want to be right.
Yeah. Or we're feeling some sort of way, or we want, a certain outcome.
Right.
That we do that a lot.
As
human beings, we do that a lot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, even if you are not married, or if you have a partner or boyfriend or whatever, you still, it is so important how we start the relationship with our communication and how we continue that relationship. Because, you can tear somebody down to the point that they can't even respond to you with your tongue.
You can. You can.
I've
done that a time or two when I've been angry.
Yeah.
Not proud of that.
Yeah, right. And just learning how to set boundaries for ourselves.
Yeah.
Not cross those boundaries and respectfully communicate with each other, because we're not kids.
No.
We're growing into adults, or we are already adults.
Something I started with my kids and in my house was, "You were right, I was wrong, and I love you."
Oh,
so when we had an argument, or one of us was really in the wrong, or whatever the case may be, it could be something simple as, "Yes, Mom, we did have milk in the fridge, and I bought milk." And we say, "You were right, I was wrong, and I love you." And kind of a reset and an acknowledgement that, okay, I'm humbling myself right now.
Oh, good.
I'm telling you were right, and I still love you, and everything's good.
Wow.
It's a powerful statement of what we do.
Yeah, that is good. Wow. That just says, that we should have some kind of way, or some type of strategy plan to know how to deal with afflictions and disagreements and
plan for them.
Yeah,
because they're going to happen.
Yeah,
you're going to have disagreements. You're going to have days where you don't get along. You're going to have conflict. So preparing in advance of how you want to interact or things you want to say, I think is extremely important.
Oh, I think so too.
What's the timeout call? When I hit my point, what do I need to say to you for you to give me my minute, or whatever the case may be? Yeah, very smart.
Yeah. Well, there's been times where I just had to tell my husband, look, don't talk to me right now. Don't talk to me right now, because I am trying to make sure that what I say will be right. And
what I mean.
Right. Yeah. Because once you put it out there, you can't take that back.
No, you can't.
Me and my husband, we joke a lot of time, and he'll say something, we just be joking around. And he'll say, I unsay that.
Oh.
I'm like, nice, I said, how can you unsay that?
Well, I get it. You realize it's kind of like you were right, I was wrong, and I love you.
Yeah.
I say that, and I appreciate that one.
Yeah. So it's funny, but you just have to learn how to love each other properly, because you're really trying to go somewhere together in life, and it's never going to happen if you're just constantly tearing each other down, always pointing out the negative, and can't see anything good. And this just came to me. A lot of times we can't see anything good because we can't get past our own faults.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's true.
So really, we need to deal with ourselves instead of trying to deal with the other person. And that goes back to that minimizing and justifying our own behavior when we know in our hearts that we're not right.
Yep, I agree.
Yep. So
gotta do the wisdom work first.
Yeah, the wisdom work. I like that. Yeah, do the wisdom work first. Yes. A moment of silence.
Well, that's heavy. It's a lot there. A lot to unpack.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is good conversation.
Yeah.
Good things for people to hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need to sit with that for a second.
Yeah, that's good. I think that, that's an area where a lot of us struggle. A lot of times we justify, what we do or what we say, because we don't really want to realize that we're not right, and, the thing is, if you really love that person, you really want to see the best in them anyway. But, if you can't give, how can you expect to receive? I mean, because, if you're going to give trash, that's what you're going to give back.
That's true.
And it's so important that we learn how to control our emotions and we don't cross those boundaries.
Yeah.
And we don't cross the other person's boundaries, but we have respect for each other's boundaries.
And we don't sacrifice ourselves because of our anger. We don't change who we are because we're upset or hurt or embarrassed or however we're feeling. We shouldn't lessen ourselves to justify how we're feeling.
Yeah.
Or how we're acting because of how we're feeling.
Well, you know what? I like doing stuff, with my husband. That's just, and I always want him to help me do stuff because I like helping him do stuff, but he don't like helping me do stuff. And it's like, oh, that's your project, and I'm like, well, you know what? If you ain't going to help me, I'm not going to help you. And and it came to me that, wait a minute, I'm changing who I am because he's not doing what I want him to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my son said this to me last week. He said, boundaries are what we put around ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
He said, but control is boundaries that we try to put around other people.
Oh, yeah. That is a great point. I think a lot of the times we think that we have to hold back things, almost to punish the other person for how they are.
That's good.
We're upset, and this is our way of making them know that we're upset. So we're going to hold back this or not do that, and that only harms the other person and us more.
Right. Well, since she kind of touched on that, I'm going to touch on it. Because you know what? A lot of our problems
Mm-hmm.
as females,
Mm-hmm.
married women, we get mad at our husband and we want to withhold sex.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's we're going there.
Yeah, that's right. We want to withhold sex, and we don't realize that we are frustrating this man. And one thing that I learned that I did not know was that, when it comes to a physical sexual relationship with a man, his is physical. It's physical. It's a physical urge that he has that needs to be fulfilled. Well, with us, it's an emotional thing. So if we don't feel like our emotional love tank is being filled up, then we don't want, to give to him what he needs. Well, if we gave him what he needed and we had the right attitude about it and did things right, it will cause him to change. But sometimes we want the other person to change before we change.
That's true too. Yeah, we do.
And so but I mean, you know what? I'm a peacemaker.
Honey.
Yes, I love peace. Yeah. I don't like having to deal with a bunch of turmoil.
Yeah.
So I usually try to, and I'm not saying that I got it right all the time because, man, I
just get it wrong.
Some of the stuff, if I could describe it to you, you would be like, oh, wow, I could never imagine she was like that. But, I've learned a lot about how to treat people, how to be a wife and a mother, and those things all incorporate relationships.
Yep.
And you have to treat people right, no matter what, know. And if it's in your heart to be that, you got to be who you are.
Yeah.
And not allow other people to rob you from your what's the word I'm looking for? Your original self.
Oh yeah. Authentic self.
Yeah, authentic self. Right. Yep. There we go. Yeah. So, ladies, that's very important that, if you are a married woman or you have a partner or whatever, it's very important that you treat your partner right. You can bring the worst out of them or you can bring the best out of them.
Do the right thing for the right reasons.
Yes. And if you are dealing with turmoil, start all over. Forgive each other, forgive them, and start all over. I can't tell you how many times me and my husband started all over.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And I think we're going on 34 years this year.
Well, you change, you become different people and you go through things, you learn new things, and you're going to be a different version of you sometimes. And so the starting over is required.
Oh, yes. Yes. I like that reset button.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to our last slide, and we're going to end it with this. Kristin, you want to read that?
Communicate with wisdom. Positive disagreement to disagree respectfully.
Yes. So, I mean, that's
take
just
a drink of my tea.
Yeah, that's just kind of some things are just common sense. If you're in a relationship, it doesn't even let's just take it here. It doesn't even matter whether you're in a co-worker relationship, whether you're in a boss employee, a mother daughter, mother son, boyfriend, whatever, husband. It don't really matter what kind of relationship you're in, you are going to have disagreements.
Yep.
And wouldn't it be horrible if everybody was like us? You mean you would have to deal with yourself all the time, everywhere you go?
I'm pretty cool. I take offense to that.
Yeah, you know what? But sometimes we don't like dealing with our own selves. No. And then we try to make people be like us. Mm-hmm. I think it was, what's her name? Allison.
Oh, Armstrong.
Armstrong that said that we think that men are hairy women.
Hairy misbehaving women.
Yeah. Yes. We want them to be like us, but you know what? We need to learn to appreciate our differences. Mm-hmm. And diversity in culture is really one of our core values.
Yes, it is.
And you have to learn to respect each other's differences and come up with a strategy to learn how to disagree respectfully.
Yeah, I think there's not enough put into agreeing to disagree. I think that that's more important than people give it credit for. Because you're not always going to have the same opinion. You're going to have different ideas and beliefs. I think how you communicate of the way you're going to engage going forward, knowing you have these different beliefs, is where the building and the connecting of a relationship is. Because we don't have connection in a relationship because we believe the same. Mm-hmm. We have connection in a relationship because how we talk and how we agree to engage with each other. And that is a lot of the time around positive disagreement. That's a positive way to disagree, or it's around disagreement.
Yeah. And you do need to have open communication. You need to be honest with each other and, say things in a respectful way, with a sincere heart. And because, you're growing together.
Yeah. Radical honesty is important.
Yes, I agree. And, me and my husband, we almost bought the wrong house because we didn't communicate.
Wow.
And I thought he liked the house, and I thought he thought I liked the house. And neither one of us wanted the house, and we put our earnest deposit down on that house. Mm-hmm. And found out that neither one of us liked it. Luckily, we were able to get out of it, and we had only lost about maybe $200 to $300.
That's good.
Right.
That's the cost of you learning each other.
Come on, yeah. Yes. And so we thought, well, we better start communicating each other. Give me my $400.
It is extremely important to verify that what you believe the other person in the relationship is feeling is truly what they feel. Mm-hmm. You have to verify and ask. That's why saying it seems like, and then fill in the blank, or saying, what are you feeling? Or, can we be curious about this feeling that I'm having together?
Right.
Because people assume, and we think that it's our way, like they're thinking like us. So it must be this. And that's not always the case.
Oh, that's barely the case.
Yeah.
With men. They don't think anything,
Yeah.
like we think and stuff. And a lot of times I'll be like, you already know how I am. Can't you figure out what I'm saying? And, we were talking about this, how men are just literal.
Yes, very.
They are literal.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened today with me talking to him. And I'm like, forget it.
We forget. I was told today, I had somebody come fix my computer at work, and we were talking about something, and I was going to go ask a question. He goes, one thing at a time. I'm a man. He's like, I can only focus on one thing at a time. I'm like, yes, you're right. I'm so sorry. I know this.
And that's how men are too. They can focus on one thing at a time. And somebody said one time, if you give a man a restaurant,
mm-hmm.
and he will focus on one thing, and that restaurant will flourish because he focuses on one thing. Well, with women, we're multitasking. We are everywhere.
And I can go here, and I can have this. Yes, all the time.
Yeah. So just, understand that, everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
And that we don't need to try to create little people like us, and accept the good qualities that we find in other people, and realize that those good qualities will benefit our lives as we feed that reinforcement, that positive.
Them.
Yes, right. Yes.
Celebrate them.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Well, we are out of time, and me and Kristin, we could go on and on conversating about this, but we have end the Tuesday tea time, and we want to say that we love you. And we ask that you go back, if you need to, listen to this again and glean all the wisdom you can out of it. And remember what I always say, applied knowledge is powerful, not just knowledge is power. Okay? All right. Well, we love you, and we want to say this to you together. Mwah. Walk in wisdom. Have a great night.